This is not the time to surrender math and science to foreign countries. It is not the time to say, oh, we'll let other countries build the airplanes, the spacecraft, the new energy technology of the future. Let's take that back. Let's make sure we are investing in our schools, even the infrastructure of our schools. Many of our schools are crumbling. We need to renovate them. We need to pay our teachers what they're worth, and we need to make sure every child has an education that is world class. You know, the last thing I want to talk about is the unleashing of American business here in this country. I've been appointed to 2 committees in Congress. First committee I was appointed to is the Homeland Security Committee. So I'm on Homeland Security, and I'm on the subcommittee of Counterterrorism and Intelligence. And I know Jane Harmon just led the way for this region on that committee. Jane Harmon led the way on intelligence. She ended up at the end of her career really being the go-to Congress member for intelligence and Homeland Security. And I believe my role on that committee is just important now as it has ever been. We just got our 9/11 report card given to this committee 10 years later after 9/11. What have we learned? What can we do better? Where are there still holes? And I will tell you, I will be advocating for more Homeland Security grants to come to this region, both for our law enforcement and our airport, LAX, and our Port of Los Angeles. You know, I still feel like our seaports are the most vulnerable entryway into this country. And I think the 9/11 report card showed that while we spent most of our resources, most of our technology, most of our attention on our airports, since that was the nature of the 9/11 attacks, we have not given the same kind of attention to our seaports. We are not screening our cargo at 100%, and I think that is a major problem, and I will be advocating for more screening of our cargo. I'd like to see 100% of our cargo screened, either at the point of origin, thank you, Elise, or certainly when it comes in and out of our ports. The other committee that I've been appointed to is small business. I think this is going to be a great committee for this region. I think this is going to be a great committee where I can work with all my chambers because small business is where it's at. No offense to our large businesses here today, and certainly not to our great sponsors, but our small businesses really are the backbone of our country. And small businesses is where we're going to see the biggest growth in the coming years. Small business are where we are going to see hiring taking place. We know that. That is where the growth is going to come. And I think my role on the Small Business Committee is really going to help you, and I'm going to work on that. One of the things I do when I come home every weekend or week, like I'm here this whole week, I'm meeting with small businesses one-on-one. I'm talking to you, I'm listening to you, I'm hearing from you how the federal government might be more helpful, either by getting out of the way or by really working so that we get Washington, D.C. To understand your problems and begin to cut bureaucratic red tape and begin to streamline things so that it's easier for you to start, easier for you to operate, easier for you to access capital, easier for you to hire people. I've already met more than 50 businesses one-on-one since I've been here. And I've been going on tours of your businesses. I've toured, obviously, our great big companies, Boeing and Northrop Grumman. I've also toured some of the smaller businesses, Physical Optics, Luminet, RJ Telecommunications, Reuter & Reuter Architecture. I've met with Stanberry Laundry. even with 4 people. So I met with a business that has 4 people versus some of the larger businesses. And I will tell you, and let me just stop here and talk about the aerospace industry, because you can't have the State of the Region address and not talk about our aerospace industry. It is clear, it is so clear in this economic downturn for the last, several years, almost 5 or 6 years now. It has been the aerospace industry that has kept so many families afloat during these bad times. These are good jobs, these are high-wage jobs, and they have been so important to our economy here in the South Bay. And we need to keep aerospace strong. It's not just... it's not just the heart of our regional economy. It's critical to our national security. To keep that heart healthy requires having a pool of really smart people. I love Jane Harmon's line when she said, "You can't build rockets without rocket scientists." And that is why our education piece is so important. And that's why I'm pressing California's other representatives in Congress to fight together for robust funding for critical aerospace programs that are saving work, advancing new commercial applications, and protecting our nation's security, like Northrop's Defense Weather Satellite System and the Boeing telecommunications satellite. One of the things I want to do, and I know it's hard to work together, and I'm finding that out back there. I thought everyone could just get along. But I think there are issues that are bipartisan. And I think there are issues in California that are important to this state. And I want to first start, I may not get along with everybody back there, but I want to start with the delegation from California. I want the Congress members from California, Republican or Democrat, to understand the importance of the aerospace industry to California, to this nation, and to the security issues that are so important. If we can't come together on that, then that is a larger problem on so many levels. And I'm going to start there, and I hope I can count on your help. When you lobby other Congress members, no matter what party they're from, you tell them that Janice Hahn wants to be a friend, wants to work with them on this issue, and ultimately it will be good for California. I want to put aside partisan politics when it comes to California. We have the largest delegation of Congress members, and we need to work together for California. We need to work together for our economy. We need to work together for our unemployment rate, and we need to do things that will advance this state. And I think that will serve you well, and I think you should begin looking like that and writing Congress members and telling them it's time to come together. It's time to stop this petty bickering. It's time to put our state that we represent ahead of everything. One of the things you all are telling, the small businesses, you're telling me that Congress needs to streamline the paperwork that you deal with every day. I forgot to tell you, I have come up with just a very small survey. It has a few questions that I'm giving to small businesses. And your chamber graciously sent it out to the membership, and we're actually getting them back, and we're beginning to look at unfiltered, unedited, what do you need from me? What do you need from Congress? Okay, one of the first things, too much paperwork. It needs to be streamlined. So I'm going to introduce a bill to do just that. You told me that access to credit remains a significant hurdle, and that the Small Business Association loan should be easier to get. And I've been meeting with the Small Business Administration to free up capital for the small businesses in our region. I've even invited the administrator of the SBA to come and visit us and see how we do business here. I think that's very important. One of the issues I heard was some of our businesses want to get a small business loan. The Small Business Association has criteria that you must meet before you get the loan. And so when they go to the bank to access the small business loan, lo and behold, the bank has another couple of criteria that you must meet that the Small Business Association didn't have. And one very critical one is putting up real estate for collateral. The Small Business Association apparently doesn't require that for their small business loans. But when you go to the bank, they're like, oh, no, no, no. Our requirement is that you do have to put up real estate for collateral. So let's get together. Let's have the criteria match so it's not a frustrating process for businesses who want to access capital. You've told me that if you could have access to more loans, you would expand. You would expand and you would, guess what? You would hire. That's what needs to happen in this country to get the economy back on track. You told me that the Social Security payroll tax holiday that is in place has been a big help, and you want to see that continue. And I'm going to work to make sure that happens. And you told me that our primary job in Washington, D.C. should be to spur consumer demand. The best way I can think about spurring consumer demand is to make sure people have jobs. Because if people don't have jobs, they're not going to be a consumer. And we're going to work very hard to do that. One of the things, the President gave a speech this morning about hiring veterans, and that is going to be something that I'm going to work very hard on. I believe we need to end these wars as soon as possible. I think we need to bring our men and women home, but when they come home, we need to treat them with respect and dignity. They shouldn't be fighting for a job after they've come home fighting for this country. And I know some chambers, and I don't know if you've done it yet, but you have done it, it's November 10th, holding a job fair specifically for veterans. We want to hire our heroes. We need more of those heroes back here. And by the way, our veterans come back with incredible skills. Skills in everything from time management to multitasking to logistics. These veterans come back with incredible skills, some of which an employer is having a hard time even sort of matching that with the job description. But know that each and every one of these veterans you would be lucky to hire. And by the way, women veterans, when women veterans come home, they have the highest unemployment rate in this country. So again, if we want to honor our troops, if we want to support the men and women in uniform, when they come home, let's not give them, let's give them dignity by making sure that they don't have to fight for a good paying job.